I didn't plan to tell this story. For a long time, I kept it buried under jokes work, and the kind of silence you learn when speaking up never seems to help. But the truth is, this story changed me. And maybe if you've ever been judged, underestimated, or turned into a punchline just for existing, it'll hit you too. It started on a Tuesday afternoon, the kind of day where nothing feels special, except I was standing in the lobby of a glass and steel office building that smelled like money and bad coffee, holding an envelope I wasn't supposed to open. Inside was a photo, a party photo. My ex-husband smiling, surrounded by people who had spent years pretending I didn't belong in their world. Written on the back in handwriting I recognized instantly were 3 words. Still winning. Love me. Yeah, that happened. My name is Naomi Brooks. I'm black, I'm plus-sized, and for most of my adult life people decided who I was before I ever opened my mouth. Too loud, too big, too confident. Or my favorite one. You're actually really smart. Like it surprised them. I built my own catering business from a borrowed kitchen and a maxed-out credit card, and I was proud of it. But to people like my ex-husband's crowd, I was never impressive. I was tolerated. Until I wasn't. The man in that photo, his name is Daniel Reeves. Old money. Corporate royalty. We met years ago when I catered a fundraiser his company sponsored. He liked my food. I liked that he listened. Or at least I thought he did. We married fast. And I learned even faster that loving someone doesn't mean they'll stand up for you when it counts. His mother asked if I was healthy enough to handle marriage. His friends joked about how brave he was, and Daniel, he smiled through it, said things like, "They'll come around," or "They don't mean it like that." Until one day after a dinner where his ex-girlfriend loudly asked if I was the nanny, I realized something. They weren't confused. They were cruel, and he was comfortable with it. So I left. What I didn't expect was what came next. A month after the divorce, Daniel showed up at my office. No warning, no apology, just that same polished smile and an offer that sounded like it came from a bad movie. He wanted to marry me. Again. Not for love, for optics. His new fiancée, a woman named Claire, had made his life miserable after he called off their engagement. She'd trashed him in their social circle, questioned his masculinity, his taste, his judgment. And he wanted revenge. He said marrying me again would drive her insane. I laughed. Hard. Right in his face. Then I told him to get out. But he didn't leave. He sat there, hands folded, and said, "I'll fund your expansion. $3 million. Full control. No interference. 1 year. Then we split. You walk away richer. I walk away satisfied." I wanted to throw him out. I really did. But then I thought about the people I could hire, the kids I could mentor. The dreams I kept postponing because banks didn't take women like me seriously, and I hated myself a little for considering it. So I set my terms. Everything in writing. No control over me, no comments on my body, no pretending I was anything less than his equal in public. And the second he disrespected me, I was gone. He agreed. We got married quietly. New names, new story, new city. On paper, it was clean. In reality, it was a powder keg. The first time we walked into a high society event together, I felt every eye land on me. The whispers. The smiles that didn't reach eyes. Claire was there, dressed like she stepped out of a magazine, hand gripping her champagne like it was a weapon. She smiled at me and said, "Oh, I didn't realize this was a theme party." I smiled back and said I didn't realize bitterness was still in season, but here we are. People laughed, nervously. She didn't. That night was the first time I didn't shrink. I spoke. I laughed. I corrected people when they assumed I was the help. I watched Claire unravel as donors complimented my business sense, my confidence, my presence. And something inside me shifted. This wasn't about revenge anymore. This was about visibility. But winning publicly doesn't mean you're not bleeding privately. Behind closed doors, I struggled. I hated that this started as a transaction. I hated wondering if people respected me or just the storyline, and Daniel. He started changing, listening, defending me, shutting people down when they crossed lines. I told myself it was guilt, or image management, anything but what it felt like. The turning point came at a charity gala. Claire cornered me near the restroom, no audience this time. She called me a prop, said I was being used, said men like Daniel don't change, they just find new ways to play. For the first time, I didn't clap back. I just looked at her and said, maybe. But I'm not the one who lost control of the game. She slapped me. Yeah, she actually slapped me. Security rushed in. Phones came out. The story exploded. And for once, it wasn't me being painted as aggressive or ungrateful. People saw her for who she was, and they saw me stand there calm, unbroken, refusing to be small. That night, Daniel found me sitting alone in the hotel kitchen, shaking. He didn't try to spin it. He didn't offer excuses. He just said, "I'm sorry I didn't protect you sooner. And I understand if you walk away." That's when I realized the truth. Somewhere along the line, this stopped being fake. He fell in love. And worse, so did I. I ended the contract early. Told him the deal was done. Told him I wasn't going to be anyone's lesson or statement. He didn't fight me. He just said, "I love you." Not the idea. Not the rebellion. You. I didn't answer. I focused on my business. Expansion happened anyway. People followed me, not the drama. Claire disappeared from the spotlight. Daniel stepped back from his family's empire and started funding programs I'd dreamed about but never said out loud. Months later, he asked me one question. No cameras, no contracts, no audience. "Do you want to build something real with me?" I said yes. Slowly. Carefully. Honestly. We remarried. Small ceremony. My people. His few who mattered. No society pages. No spectacle. Just truth. Now, here's the part that makes people uncomfortable. I didn't win because I embarrassed my enemy. I won because I refused to let their definition of me become my limit. I won because I stood still when they wanted me to disappear, because I spoke when silence would have been easier, because I chose myself before I chose revenge. So here's my question for you. Was I right to take the deal? Was using the system that hurt me the only way to beat it, or should I have walked away the first time? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me where you stand. And if you've ever been underestimated, mislabeled, or pushed aside, tell me how you fought back. Because these stories don't end when the camera turns off. Sometimes that's where they really begin.